Yo, what up, what up, what up? I'm just gonna get right into it. Welcome to another episode of the Energy Dojo podcast. The Olympics expressing martial arts or lack thereof. Karate and Taekwondo in the Olympics and just combat sports in general, what they've kind of been doing. Um, it's just, man, it's really sad to watch. So we can go to Taekwondo first. So for those of you who have not seen it or who don't follow it extensively, maybe you did it when you were younger, it's the sport that is a version of kickboxing. It's mostly punches to the body, but a ton of kicks with the legs, spinning techniques, and things like that. In the early years, they had just regular chest protectors when it first became the Olympic sport. I believe it became an Olympic sport in Atlanta or Athens. Maybe it was Athens. I'm not sure. It was either 1996 or 2000, whenever it became an Olympic sport officially. And it had some great success. It had some good matches and things like that. Some of the matches could be slower. Some of them were a lot faster. But all in all, the game itself or the sport itself was relatively entertaining and exciting for those who got a chance to watch it. And now what's kind of happened is they've incorporated electronic scoring. Now, when I was going through Taekwondo, I was like near the beginning, like the early stages of electronic scoring when they were still trying to figure it out. When I competed, they had like four different versions. Adidas had a version that was strictly based on. Whoa, sorry, I'm dropping shit. Excuse me. Adidas had a version that was strictly based on PSI, so pounds per square inch. So however much pressure and stuff that you put on that was basically how you would score your points. If you hit it hard enough, then you would score your points. Then there was a system called L'Adjust, which had this like big old goofy looking sock that they put on your feet. Um, there was also a Dado, which was I think closer to the one that they use nowadays, which is just like a foot pad protector on the foot that kind of contoured to the foot that had a couple sensors on there, and it still registered how hard you hit it, but it mainly focused on making contact with the foot. So early on, people still fought about almost exactly the same as they fought without the electronic scoring. And honestly, the main reason why the electronic scoring became a thing was because, uh, honestly, corrupt judging. I'm gonna be honest with you, the judging was really jacked up. If you look at Beijing, I think Beijing because it was like it was like one of the more publicized ones because I know like all three of the members of the Lopez family had made it, so Taekwondo had a lot more eyes on it. But there were matches where guys were clearly scoring big points, and it did not matter. The judges would not give it to them to the point where people were begging to the crowd, and this basically the beginning of the end of it really being a legitimate sport. I mean, now it's just like freaking patty cake for points at this point. It's not even a fight anymore. Um, so Beijing happened, then London happened. It was still, I would say, it was still a pretty solid sport, and then Rio happened, and that's when it started to really diminish. And now we're at Tokyo, and it's not even. I wouldn't even consider it a martial art anymore. Like, if I showed this to somebody and you're gonna tell me that this is something that a person can use to protect themselves or to compete or even like use it at a professional level in kickboxing, it just wouldn't happen. And I'm not here to disrespect or discredit any Taekwondo practitioners, but a lot of Taekwondo practitioners that I even know don't like how the sport is tending nowadays. Because like look, it was already a comparative to like something like Muay Thai, a lesser form of Muay Thai or something that you do before you go into Muay Thai and kickboxing because you need to be able to develop that ability and that flexibility that Taekwondo has. So it's very beneficial for that when taught the proper way. and then you go into Muay Thai when you learn your leg kicks and you learn uh, better boxing technique and things like that. Or if you go through the more Dutch style kickboxing, you learn better boxing, you learn your leg kicks and things like that. But you have the footwork and you have the movement and all that other stuff that Taekwondo allowed you to get. And now all of that is completely gone. And you're not going to tell me that you're going to fight like this, freaking patty caking it up for 10, 15 years, however long you're in the sport, and then expect that you can make something, like make a career out of this. You know what I mean? Like, I'll credit something like Karate Combat for karate practitioners that compete in point sparring. They've kind of written the book on how to develop the art a little bit more, I would say, because they have a professional league that strictly focuses on karate. So Kyokushin and Kempo stylists can kind of develop their style more in kickboxing, which really has never been done. I feel like a lot of people just abandon their style and go for Muay Thai or go for whatever. They don't adapt their karate movements and styles to kickboxing. So Karate Combat is doing their thing. But Taekwondo as a whole, I just don't even know what to call it anymore. I can't call it fighting. I can't call it martial arts. It just looks like freaking patty cake. Like, I would literally rather watch freaking someone make a jelly sandwich on TikTok, for God's sakes. And that's what I did. Like, I haven't even watched the Olympics much this year. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. If you are a Taekwondo practitioner and you enjoy it, more power to you. But for me, and for a person that really, and for anyone that really wants to learn fighting and actual martial arts, I would not recommend Taekwondo unless you find a very good school, because the way that they teach them how to fight now is not fighting. It's just touch. It's just patty cake. You know what I'm saying? So that's just my view on it. But moving on to karate, what can I even say? So here's my thing. If you are in a pool of water with all your clothes on, or even if you're just in a bathing suit, just say, let's just say you're in all your clothes, you're in your favorite suit, and you decide to jump in a pool fully clothed with this nice suit on. Are you going to be upset when that suit is wet? That's my question. You're going to go in this water expecting not to get wet. So you're going into a fight where people are throwing punches and kicks and spinning techniques and all these things, and you're disqualifying a person that knocks someone out, yet you allow them to make contact with a kick to the face, but not so hard that it knocks them out. Are you kidding me? Like, this dude landed a beautiful, beautiful roundhouse kick on this man's face, knocked him smooth out. And you're going to tell this man who has worked his life for this moment that he loses because he knocked him out because his kick was too strong? What are we even doing here? That's what you signed up for. If I sign up to fight and you sign up to fight, then we are at a written agreement that something might break, something might, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, someone might get hurt, someone might get put to sleep. We're agreeing to that, and I don't care if it's jujitsu, I don't care if it's Muay Thai, I don't care if it's karate, I don't care if it's boxing, I don't care if it's anything. Why are you taking away a knockout in a sport in which I am throwing my hands, my feet, elbows, whatever the hell else at you? Like, you can control your punches to a certain degree, but when you're in a fight, a literal fight, your dreams are on the line, the Olympic gold medal is on the line, you're going to tell this person that because he was much better than the other person, he was able to time his kick perfectly, he was able to knock this guy out, that he can't win the fucking gold medal? Oh my god, like, dude, it blows my mind. It's like, don't even put martial arts in the Olympics, because it's not even a fight, and you're raising these people to really think that this is what it's supposed to look like. Like, if you are going to fight, you have the potential to get hit. You have the potential to get knocked out. You have the potential to break your leg. You have potential to do all these things. That is what you signed up for. It is that simple. You should not be penalized because you had perfect timing and you knocked this joker out. That's easy money. That means my night is simple. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get to go home. I get to chill. I get to relax. I don't got to ice no injuries. Blah blah blah. Look, when I was competing, I had fights where the dude would not go down, and I woke up the next morning with freaking both my shins swollen as could be. It felt like I still had my shin pads on. My shins were so swollen. You know what I mean? Like, it's an ugly sport. Like, the fight game is not pretty. And people want it to look pretty and make it seem so glamorous and stuff. These are grown men throwing punches and kicks at each other. Knockouts are a given. They're going to happen. They are going to happen. Okay? Like, I've never been knocked out, thankfully. I mean, I got up the sport early, but I've been on the giving end. I've given a lot of knockouts. A lot of spinning hook kick knockouts where dudes were flat out. I assume it doesn't feel good to be knocked out, but again, that's what they signed up for. That's the reason why I got out of the fight sport at a young age, because I wasn't built for it. But at the same time, I understand that it's a part of it. You can't take that out. Like, I'm scared to death that to even let them put jiu-jitsu in. Because what's going to happen? Oh, you broke his arm. Now you're disqualified. Well, he didn't tap. What are you supposed to do if the person gets caught with a great shot, or if you're in a grappling situation, the person doesn't want to tap, they want to fight through it, and their arm breaks? Like, are you going to tell them, oh, you're disqualified, you lose your gold medal, you lose your dream because you broke his arm? Like, come on, man. Like, what are we even doing here? Like, I don't even know, man. Like, if I had it my way, I would, well, first of all, I would add knockouts, excuse me, but I would have it like the NASCAR style rules, just because like the Olympic style of sport karate or whatever is just terrible. I mean, like, they don't even really fight. They barely make contact as it is. Like, the NASCAR rules, like, you're allowed a little bit more freedom. You have a lot better performance and stuff like that. I would also add XMA, just because like the forms is a freaking snore fest, and I'm happy for all those people that love their katas and things like that. We need to be entertained. I'm sorry, like, no one cares that you won the kata championship. It's cool, but you know what I'm saying. It's just but seriously, on the fighting aspect of both of these sports, like, what happened to the fight? You got two people in Taekwondo playing patty cake with their front foot. Like, no one's getting hit hard. Like, it's not fight. Like, if I want to do that, if I want to watch people just get touched, I'll watch fencing. Fencing is more entertaining. I'll watch fencing. I'll enjoy myself and watch fencing if that's the case. I'm watching a fight to see people fight. Not to see people patty cake it up, and then you expect people to watch this and donate money and all these other things. Nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to see that. It's ridiculous. I honestly just hope that it changes. Hope they add knockouts to karate. I hope that Taekwondo gets rid of these freaking electronic scoring and actually gets judges that are impartial, that will call it straight down the middle, so that we can get back some integrity for the arts. Like, I would, like, the way that they structure stuff, I would be so scared to have jiu-jitsu in the Olympics, because I'm like, you're gonna dilute how great jiu-jitsu is. It's like, oh, well, you can't do this choke, you can't do this choke, you can't do that choke. If you break someone's arm, you're disqualified, blah, blah, blah. you're gonna take away everything that's essential to the jiu-jitsu players, and it just becomes this